Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. Jersey City, New Jersey, WABC, 6 people were killed after a tourist helicopter carrying a family from Spain crashed into New York City's Hudson River on Thursday afternoon. The crash was reported at 3:17 p.m. on the Hoboken side of the Hudson. The crash was reported at 3:17 p.m. on the Hoboken side of the Hudson. Agustin Escobar, a Siemens executive from Barcelona, Spain, his wife Merce Camprubi Montal, and their children, ages 4, 5, and 11, were killed in the crash, law enforcement sources told ABC News. The pilot, who was 36, was also killed, making a total 6 people. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said the helicopter was operated by New York Helicopters. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel. The FAA believes the helicopter is a Bell 206 and appears to have taken off from the downtown Manhattan heliport at 2:59 p.m. It went up to the George Washington Bridge before turning back south along the Jersey side of the river. It went off radar at 3:25 p.m. Dan Croth has more on the flight path of the helicopter that crashed into the Hudson River. Video shared with Eyewitness News appeared to show pieces of the helicopter break apart and crash into the water. Officials say the helicopter hit the water inverted, without a tail rotor or a main rotor blade. Video shows the moments before a helicopter crashed into the Hudson River. For witnesses, it turned out to be a memory full of horror. I watched it fall out of the sky. I heard 5 or 6 loud noises that sounded almost like gunshots in the sky and saw pieces fall off, then watched it fall into the river, said Donnie Horbiak, who saw the crash from her apartment window. It sounded like a sonic boom on my right, and so I look up and literally I see a helicopter splitting in two with the rotor flying off, and this guy was going straight into the water and nothing came up afterwards, said a witness named Max. Sandra Bookman has more from witnesses in Jersey City. Officials say the entire flight lasted all of 15 minutes, before witnesses say it took an upside-down nosedive. It just kind of fell apart and it was the most terrifying thing that we ever witnessed, Rajani said. I heard some crackling, looked up and then just saw a plane falling apart, said witness Bruce Wall. And then maybe 15 feet in the air after the tail came off, broke off, and then the plane just sort of tumbled into the water with the propeller still in the air. FDNY and NYPD divers were in the water almost immediately and assisted in the recovery. 4 of the victims were declared dead at the scene and 2 victims were sent to local hospitals where they were pronounced dead. Jersey City Medical Center, where the passengers were transported after the crash, tried as hard as they could, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop said. Our hearts go out to the family and those on board, Mayor Eric Adams said. A crane vessel hoisted the crumpled wreckage of the helicopter out of the Hudson and onto a barge Thursday night. Police fished out chunks of jagged metal that washed up to the Jersey City shore, along with a life preserver, a seat and the personal effects of a family of 5. The Spanish consulate of New York City is now in touch with authorities to gather and confirm information and identification of the people involved in the helicopter crash, according to the communications team at the Spanish Foreign Ministry. The Jersey City Police Department is taking the lead on the investigation since the helicopter crashed on the Jersey City side of the river, Fulop said. Fulop said tours in the area are constant and fall within a busy and heavily trafficked area. He hopes this will increase the dialogue to decrease traffic. Hopefully this brings some more attention to it, that the fact beyond just noise, you have real safety concerns, Fulop said. Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop joins Eyewitness News to discuss the tragedy Wednesday afternoon. The FAA says they are temporarily halting all operations around the Hudson River crash site. The NTSB is launching a GO team to investigate the crash, and is expected to arrive on Thursday night. They will have to piece together what went wrong, and what caused the rotors to break apart, dooming the 21-year-old helicopter and the 6 people aboard. At least 32 people have died in helicopter crashes in NYC since 1977, most recently in 2019 when a helicopter used for executive travel hit the roof of Manhattan skyscraper in restricted airspace and the pilot was killed. What we know about the flight. Flight Radar 24 reported the aircraft to be a Bell 206L4 Long Ranger IV, based on ADS-B tracking data. It was built in 2004 and had an airworthiness certificate issued in 2016 that was good until 2029, according to Federal Aviation Administration records. There was no information immediately available on the pilot, according to Adams. The helicopter took off from the downtown Manhattan heliport at 2:59 p.m., where it flew south before turning to fly north along the Manhattan shoreline, up the Hudson River, Tisch said. At 3:08 p.m., the helicopter reached the George Washington Bridge and then turned to fly south along the New Jersey shoreline, where shortly after it lost control, she said. When the helicopter hit the water, officials believe it was inverted, leaving the cabin visible in the water, Tisch said. Reports that the helicopter stopped in mid-air and pieces of the helicopter were falling off before it hit the water is consistent with 911 reports, she said. The cause of the crash is under investigation, she said. The helicopter flew for about 16 minutes before going down into the water, according to analysis by CNN and flight tracking site Flightradar24. The flight path reflects much of what officials said, showing the aircraft took off from Lower Manhattan and did a circle near the Statue of Liberty before flying up the Hudson River to the George Washington Bridge at about 1,000 feet. At that point it turned back south, ultimately coming to rest in the water near New Jersey. The path up the Hudson is a popular sightseeing route. When the helicopter crashed, it was cloudy with winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts up to 25 miles per hour according to various weather reports in the area. Visibility at the surface was good, 10 miles, but it was cloudy as a system is moving into the region, bringing light rain to the region this afternoon and evening. Helicopters on an air traffic control frequency were asked to look for anyone in the water following the crash. Please keep your eyes open. You guys see anything in the water, please let us know, said an emergency response pilot on the frequency. The FAA is temporarily prohibiting drone pilots from flying near today's helicopter crash unless they have specific authorization. FAA and NTSB to investigate cause. The Federal Aviation Administration confirmed it is investigating the situation alongside the National Transportation Safety Board. The NTSB is leading the investigation and will provide updates. The helicopter was in the Special Flight Rules area in New York, where no air traffic control services are provided, Secretary Duffy said in a post on X Thursday. Several minutes before entering that area, air traffic control from LaGuardia Airport was providing support, he said. The National Transportation Safety Board chair and investigators are on their way to the site of today's deadly helicopter crash in the Hudson River. The NTSB is launching a GO team to investigate Thursday's crash of a Bell 206L4 helicopter near Jersey City, New Jersey, the board said in a social media post. The team is expected to arrive tonight. The cause of the crash is under investigation by the NTSB, which will pore over documentation on all the work that had been done on the aircraft. That would include the company's compliance with two recent Federal Aviation Administration issued airworthiness directives. One directive from May 2023 required the testing and possible replacement of tail rotor drive shafts on 8 different Bell 206L models, including the 206L4. That directive was prompted by an incident in which a Bell 206L helicopter experienced the loss of a tail rotor drive due to a joint failure. The FAA also issued a December 2022 airworthiness directive on Bell 206L models with specific parts, requiring inspection and possible replacement of the helicopter's main rotor blades because of delamination. That refers to layers within the blade separating due to material fatigue, damage from bird strikes, for example, or manufacturing errors, potentially leading the rotor blade to fail. The helicopter that crashed in the Hudson River was built in 2004 and had an airworthiness certificate issued in 2016 that was valid until 2029, according to FAA records.